the founder of freeandfairelection.org, the man that coined the term American Kids First, brand ambassador of We Back Blue. He also is now the president of CatchTheVote.com, and he's also the campaign spokesman for Charles Anthony running for Congressional District 3. Without further ado, my friend, Tim Fazenbaker. Campaigns. He had a Jewish campaign manager, and he had a black political campaign advisor, and he had also a deputy campaign manager who was gay. And the black campaign manager actually, yeah, you got them all.
That's
and
right.
the black campaign manager actually worked for President Trump in the 2016 campaign.
I don't need to say anything about myself.
You gotta say no.
I know most of you guys know me. I usually don't write speeches, but I wrote one today. And I'm just going to throw it out anyway. But I wrote it because I love Chris. And I'm going to take you on a journey on how Chris and I met and how this whole thing started. Probably won't be as funny as Eugene or anybody else is talking about him. But I want to first say, we are the new Republicans. Let me hear everybody say it. They use that term in a derogatory way, and I remember Eugene and I talking about it, and we said, we're just going to flip it. Because we all are coming together in this room because we all have core beliefs that are similar.
Yeah.
We don't really care about the party. We care about what's right.
Yes. Yes.
Most of us are from Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore, and I got a great story about when Chris found out where I'm from. And I'm going to throw that out there again. So if you're from Dundalk, get ready for this. So that's where I'm from. I might be the only one. So it was a hot, sunny day when Chris and I met. And Charles Anthony was with me. There was Tony Campbell was there, some other people, and a lot of establishment people. We were at the state fair a little over a year ago when we were actually allowed to have fairs and events like that. And this dude comes up and he's wearing a Jesus Saves hat in the shape of a Coca-Cola thing. And he comes up and I remember guys like, who's the black guy? And I'm like, you know, part of my
I heard all of them say it.
part of my thing was I always talked about, hey, look, you know, like I'd rather hear who's that guy instead of who's that black guy.
Right.
But Chris and I talked. We had some polite conversation. It got a little uncomfortable because the media always pushes us to say, yeah, black, white, you can't be friends. It's scary. Black guy hates white guy, vice versa, all this stuff. His heart, I came through that day to me, and I knew who this guy was, and you know, I knew generally we had the same core principles, and that next day he left such an impact on me that I actually searched for him on Facebook, social media, and I found him. Although he had a different name, which no one's brought that up yet, but Jewish thing, yes. It was Sexy Chocolate. I found, yeah, it was Corn Pop. We became amicable. We talked a little bit, and you know, I was going around the country because my mission was, we're going to take over this party in this state. We're going to take over what's been going on for 70 years, more than most of us have been alive. And I'm from Baltimore, and I hated seeing that negative stuff in the news about Baltimore. Chris hated it too. We talked a little bit about that. Then he called me one day and he said, hey, I'm thinking about running. And I was elated because I knew there was a good man who was, what I thought I was doing was a noble thing, but trying to do the right thing. I knew I had a partner that was going to do the same thing. We talked a lot. We had you know, we had those conversations about, you know, what to do to move forward, you know, and it was about fixing what was going on in our city. So I grew up on North Luzerne, and Chris knows now, but Chris thought I was this rich white guy. And I'm not actually either. So, but you know, everybody thinks I'm completely white, which you know we're all mixed. With
He's
us,
white
but,
chocolate.
You know, he gets sexy chocolate. So he invites me to come down to and do his announcement when he decides he was going to run for the special election. It was at the Art Social Club. This day was so transformative for myself, and I think for Chris and a lot of the people in this room, because we're down there, and I saw it firsthand. These are people that knew Chris's whole life, and he's up there and he's talking, and he's talking about his love for Baltimore, his values for family and just conservative type principles, and everybody's, yeah, this is great. And then I remember I'm standing behind him on stage, and a lady says, wait a minute, did you say you're running as a Republican? Oh, hell no.
Really?
That was it.
Really?
He looked at me, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm just like, you know, but I had told him, I said, man, you're in for a battle. Because you're on that front line, but that is what we need.
We need it.
It's hard for me to go into a community, you know, where I don't look like those people and say, hey, you know, look, this is what has to happen. Chris lives there, and he was able to say, I'm going to do this. And he took that fight. He was the first one. He is a Renaissance man to do it. We found out later the lady that said that actually is a Republican. But it was at this time where I think Chris and I started to figure out a way how to really package our message. I was already working with Brandon Strock from Walkaway, and we're trying to get people to leave leave the Democrat Party. But there was no complete message to say, come to the Republican Party. So the lady says, well, yeah, I get it, you know, the Republican Party, I mean, the Democrats take me for granted, they take us for granted. There was a lady there who stood up, an older lady, I don't know, she might have been 80, and she said, all of you know me, and she said, hey, why do we vote Democrat? And everybody's like, because our parents tell us that's what we do. And you know, Giovanni, the other day, and I'll steal your message because you didn't say it, you said, you know, what? My parents told me, why do I vote Democrat? Well, they're for the black guy, and they're not for the rich. And what do you always say? Well, I'm black and I'm not rich, right? So at that moment, I remember, you know, the lady saying, like, you know, why would I want to become a Republican? You know, I think they're racist, you know, or whatever. And she happened to be Republican, but it was that time that we said to her, come to this party and take it over with us. And that is what we're talking about here with this message. Become a Republican, take it over, and make this party in our image, because we can do it.
There you go.
That's right. Take it
There you go.
Now, I took a lot of flack for doing something against the establishment. I stood up and I challenged the Republicans because I didn't like some of the ways that the Republicans were doing things. I didn't think that they were helping our communities. And one thing, and I live in Sparrows Point, which is just outside Dundalk, one thing that I knew was there was an enterprise zone set in Chris's neighborhood that got moved to Sparrows Point in my neighborhood. And I was pissed. I said, that's not right. Plus, then they came in and they gave $500 million to some rich people to actually build this company, which was socialism to me. And I said, that's not Republican. So, I forget where I was going, but so at that event, and as I was talking about, you know, my mission and what I wanted to do, that's when Chris goes, wait a minute, you're from Dundalk? Holy, oh, now I understand, you're from the white ghetto.
I thought he was rich.
Yeah.
I thought he was some rich guy hanging in the hood.
That is why I've always had the love for Baltimore. I'm a Baltimore guy. I've been around the world. I traveled everywhere, but Baltimore is home. Whether it's good or bad, we can make it better. And it's been terrible for a long time, and it's getting worse. We are going to fix that. When I look in this room, I know 10 years from now, we're going to look back and say, man, we were just starting, but we are going to flip everything that's going on.
That's right.
I was so proud to find out that Baltimore has the most black Republicans running in any city. And it started with Chris. I saw the abuse, I saw the name calling and all that kind of stuff. I still see it going on. Chris took that mantle and said, I will take that lightning rod. And then all of a sudden I met Eugene, and I met Giovanni and Michelle, and everything started to come together. I'm gonna end it with this. I threw out the whole speech. I know Chris's heart. No matter what anybody says, you know, I get flack sometimes because I'm helping New Republicans, and maybe they aren't as conservative as myself. I said the thing is, it's the heart, it's the character of somebody, and we have core beliefs. We can discuss other things, but we have core beliefs. I'm going to take this over, and I saw today. I'm going to end it with this because he was saying black man, which I should have been at that thing when you were interviewed with that.
Yeah,
Someone
you should've been
said,
there.
someone said,
Scheduled to go with it.
Baltimore is in such disarray right now. We need Batman to come in. And I said, I remember thinking, we don't need Batman. We got Chris Anderson.
Okay. Yeah.
Last thing, Chris will win the election.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm very, very proud that I met him. I get sentimental with you because I know who you are.
Yes.
And Baltimore and Maryland, we need this guy. Chris, I love you, brother.
Yes. Yes.